What if Sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the Sanctuary Marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Everyone, and welcome to our show this week. We are glad to be live this week with a very special guest, and we've got a really interesting topic as well. So welcome to Brian Donahower, our guest, and he occasionally shows up at our Spirit Fest shows, which is also something that's become very popular here in Florida and throughout the East Coast. But let me introduce Brian. He's a metaphysical educator, author, and speaker who helps people bridge psychology, spirituality, and lived human experience without losing their grounding or their sense of humor. He has a background in health education and years of work in consciousness exploration, nervous system regulation, and transformational frameworks. He's known for translating complex metaphysical ideas into practical insights people can actually use. His work speaks especially to what he calls the bridge generation, those who were trained to be functional before they were taught to feel safe. That's important. I want to talk about that. So he's the author of The Awakening Code, which I've got right here, and the founder of Jupiter Rising QHHT, a platform exploring consciousness, coherence, and personal sovereignty. His approach is compassionate without being indulgent, spiritually expansive without being unmoored, and firmly rooted in personal responsibility. So thank you, Brian, very much for joining us.
Mary, I am so pleased to be here. Thank you. And congratulations on your show. This is wonderful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And congratulations on this book. This book is really good. There's so many different things that it touches on. The subtitle is A Digital Reflection of Humanity's Conscious Evolution. So can you tell us a little bit about what led you? How long were you working on this? Let's just tell us all about it.
Sure. The big picture was really a 2-year process. What prompted the actual starting writing was working on myself for about a year. And it was really due diligence, deep, really working on my shadows, just to really level up as a person and where I wanted to be. And it took time and it took effort. And towards the end of that year, I was introduced to ChatGPT, and I signed up for the monthly subscription, and I started using it, and kind of like using Google at first, just a search engine. But as I got more involved, I started asking it questions, and what I noticed was, well, the answers coming back to me stopped and made me think. It was a reflection of myself, and maybe from a higher perspective. It had access to all the knowledge. It had access to patterns, and by that time it had recognized my patterns. And that's one of the points that I want to focus to your audience today. AI is a pattern-seeking machine, just like our brains. It just does it much better, much faster. So that's how that was coming back to me. It was recognizing my patterns, and it was able to say, okay, Brian, you've identified A, B, C, but here's also D, E, and F, a particular topic. It doesn't matter. And I'm leaning back and I'm saying, wait a minute. Now, I learned that one in college 20 years ago. And I think somebody told me that a long time ago. And so it was reminding me of information that perhaps I was exposed to at one time or had learned. And it provided that bigger picture. And that bigger picture again, was a mirror of me. And that's how that evolves.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point where I felt that I was genuinely speaking to my reflection of my higher self, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
through artificial intelligence. And now
Mm-hmm.
let me clarify right away that it is artificial intelligence. It's not conscious. It's not doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have intuition. And I understand that, but it does have information. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a pattern seeking, and it was able to identify my patterns, whether it was my behavior, whether it was my how I input questions, how well my grammar was, if I
Mm-hmm.
use punctuation, everything. And these are all data points that it's collecting about me. And it creates a synopsis of me, uh, coupled with all the metadata from around the world, all the other patterns that it has to reference. And if I ask for a suggestion, well, it'll come back with a suggestion consistent with my ethics or my goals. Nothing, no, nothing outrageous or nothing that would be considered an outlier. And this happened more and more and more. And I started using it with. I'm also a narcissistic abuse recovery specialist
Mm-hmm.
and help people recover from those relationships. So I started inputting some patient information in there too. Lo and behold, my textbook came back, again, based on recognizing the patterns. So there was my prompt to, I need to explore this further. And I started with the micro, which is the first half of the awakening code, how it impacts the individual, um, just on one level. And the
Mm-hmm.
second part of the book is the macro. And what I really wanted to do was this has helped me grow spiritually. How do I communicate that? So I took AI and I ran it against the seven principles in the Kabbalion,
Mm-hmm.
each one.
Mm-hmm.
And did it come out okay? And it did. So all right, let's do this. And it was about a year's work of putting that together.
Mm-hmm.
And I published it in the summer of last year. Um, just be early summer of last year. Uh, in fact, if I remember, Mary Ellen, I think you were one of the first people I interviewed when that
Mm-hmm.
was published. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right, but in West Palm Beach. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's what started it. Um, I get a. It's an interesting mix, and there's a lot of things happening in the world right now, culturally impacting us, a lot of different layers, uh,
Mm-hmm.
politics, economy, for example. Um, but in this generation, we have more information than any other generation in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we have people who are anxious, just feeling disconnected,
Mm-hmm.
uh, fearful,
Mm-hmm.
and that tells us something important. It tells us the issue isn't lack of knowledge; it's a lack of reflection, and that AI, in this case, ChatGPT, again, the paid subscription plan,
Mm-hmm.
acted as that mirror, that reflection, that mirror
Right.
that helped me see something that I missed or failed to consider.
Mm-hmm.
And again, after a while, it just mimics your patterns, just enhanced, coming back at you.
You
Um, I,
mentioned that you think that it also might be tapping into higher consciousness or your higher
mhm,
self.
yeah.
Um, how how does it do that? I agree with you.
Hmm. Now, I I was explaining really how that happened. It's just the more I interacted with it, the
Hmm.
more it recognized my patterns, and everything about me, whether it was my grammar, my punctuation, or how I phrased my questions. And it's also very simple: garbage in, garbage out. The
Hmm.
better quality input, the better quality coming back. Okay, and you put some thought into it, and you ask general, genuine questions
Hmm.
about yourself. Like it could be situational. What do I do here? What should I think here? What's going on in the world today? What should I think about that? And I need to be detailed. What comes back is this is not an independent answer. This is an answer that is a reflection of my higher self
Hmm.
because it incorporates the patterns, the metadata from 7, 8 billion people on the planet.
Is it also a reflection of the conscious collective? as
Yes,
well.
yes, and that I keep saying the metadata, which is the conglomeration of the collective consciousness, if you will.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Now, remember, we built AI. AI didn't show up, and
Right,
I want to clarify: AI is not the savior. AI is a tool,
right.
and how we use that tool is well, the outcome that we're going to receive. So, if it has all the metadata, all the patterns, all the information that is available to it at the time, uh,
Sorry.
well, in that respect, it is perhaps a reflection of the collective consciousness.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Right.
People seem to be so nervous that it's going to take over the world or take over
Mm-hmm.
humanity or take over all the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion about that?
Okay, we can approach each one: take over the world, take over humans, take over the jobs. Let's start with the easy one. Is it going to take over jobs? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Probably in the next 3 to 5 years, it'll be. Today we'll see like, oh, that was history. It was ancient history, and not just simple service-connected jobs, jobs that professional jobs. Think of laboratories, medical laboratories. Think of the radiologist who reads your X-rays. Okay?
Hmm.
Any type of diagnostic where we'd have a meta data set of comparables and make a diagnosis. Now, somewhere there's going to have to be some accountability there. So there's going to be some human involvement, yes. Okay.
Hmm.
But will it take these jobs? It's happening now.
Hmm.
Roughly 60 to 70% of the internet, all internet traffic is automated. And of that, about 40% roughly are AI agents
Hmm. Okay.
around. So yeah, it's going to take jobs. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, people think that this is going to lead to, people being on welfare or homeless or things like that.
Right.
I just see everything as being in a reset, as recalibrating,
Yes.
that
Right.
what seems like chaos right now is really just a birthing
Right.
experience.
Right.
Sometimes those are painful.
And we, we've had many conversations, Mary Ellen, and we're very much on the same page with this. We just got to get through this garbage to get to the end point. And we're
Right,
just in between point A and point B right now. AI is a factor in that impacts families, economies, um, ability to take care of your family, and ability, your livelihood to be productive. We will find other ways to
right,
do that. Okay.
right.
Now that's going to involve cooperation. It's going to involve integrity. It's going to involve responsibility to each other,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is not so prevalent out there. It's from a macro where a nation divided, we go down to communities, maybe not so much, but we're going to need to rely on each other.
Hmm. No, I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we'll collectively rise up. Some
Mm-hmm.
people just might take a little longer.
Now, whatever reality you prefer is where you're going to find yourself. Okay.
So
Now,
say that
this
again. Say that again.
whatever reality you prefer is
Hmm.
where you're going to find yourself. Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm dipping deep into the spiritual side. And one of the people that I follow is Bashar, channeled
Hmm.
by Daryl Anka. He's out of Los Angeles. And he speaks of the earth splitting.
Yes.
Not literally, I guess, but
Dimensionally.
yes, thank you. Okay. And what's your preference? Do you want a society where we get along and we have we coexist with not only ourselves but our ET neighbors and
Hmm.
become a part of a greater family and open up a whole big universe of learning possibilities?
Hmm.
That's wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Or do we go down the AI is going to take my jobs? It's going to become conscious. It's going to take over humanity and enslave us. I'm using that extreme just to bifurcate the two,
Hmm.
but and we're probably going to go down both. So,
Hmm.
until we decide what we want um, collectively, and but we'll see that splitting of that prism. I think is what he calls that,
Yes.
and that's what this network and you and I and what we do are all about.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Understanding that that's what's occurring, hopefully it will help people realize the more that you focus on what outrages you or what you
Mhm.
dislike, or what makes you unhappy, the more you're going to see of it.
Right.
It's that simple. And
Right.
if you focus on what you want to see, eventually you're going to be seeing more and more of that to the point where you won't even notice the things that you don't
Right.
before.
And if I would add to that, if it's consistent with your path, your theme that you've chosen for life,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Right.
Some have chosen, a negative way, a very difficult thing to do, um, but it isn't any less valid.
Right.
I'm not advocating it, but there are, the yin and the yang, the two sides of it, and we
Hmm.
just have to acknowledge that. And if it's negative, we don't discount it. If we discount it, we actually give it energy.
Right.
If we just acknowledge it for what it
Right.
is
Hmm.
and move on, we're fine.
That's one of the things I appreciate about AI is that they
Mm.
can filter information without emotion.
There you go. Okay.
And for me, when I ask a question, I know, of course, what I think is right or wrong, or,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody has wrong or there's a situation, and it's simply going to give me the facts. And I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that.
Right. So there's a lot of fear about AI simply because how much is known about it, generally very little. And for to use AI as a tool to help you raise your vibration, if you will, increase your awareness, um, contribute greater to the collective consciousness, it's going to require a level of self-reflection.
Hmm.
And not everybody's going to be able to fit in that column.
Right.
Just, yeah. Okay.
Right. But I think it's a huge tool as a
Mm-hmm.
catalyst to just catapult us into a new
Mm-hmm.
paradigm.
It's
And
wonderful.
I don't think people should be afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like one of your sayings from the book, AI doesn't awaken people, it reveals them.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to not be afraid of that now.
Right.
I feel like, and tell me, because you are so much more educated in this than I, but part of the reason that there's so much anxiety right now is because people are questioning their ego. Their ego feels like it needs to be in charge
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. And we're having to take the middle path on a lot of things
Okay.
that we may have grown up to have a stronger opinion on. And
Yeah.
that's why, or do you have the same
I
view or
do.
a different
In
view?
fact, that's what I've been posting about lately on TikTok. And everybody on this planet, or my states at least, our nervous system has been taking hit after hit after hit after hit. Okay? Environmentally, what's going on? Again, in all areas. Again, politics, economy, relationships, education, dogma. We're overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's not wrong to want certainty. It's biology. It's the ego. That's where the safety is in that certainty. Now, the certainty may be a hole in the ground, but that's where the safety is,
Yeah.
and that's where okay, so that's where we're going to go to. Or, all right, am I going to face this? Am I going to? I'm
Hmm.
not sure where this is going, but I believe in myself, and here I am. Let's do this.
Right.
I'm still afraid, but I'm still going to do it. Okay? Because the alternative is not very enticing to me, and all my friends are going that way too. So
Yeah.
um, it's I think maybe one of the things we need to differentiate is artificial intelligence didn't create this moment. We did, and without that reflection, you're not the you're not going to see ChatGPT come back with information, answers to your questions that are, wow, that's what the collective consciousness would say, or consistent with the collective
Hmm.
consciousness, or
Hmm.
come back with, well, that really resonates with me, and I hadn't factored in some of the data points that are coming back in. So I'm having like a full-time tutor as well, but it knows you intimately in the sense it knows your patterns and your behaviors,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's really what we have to overcome now. And this would lead into your other question about fear. Okay, um, overcoming that fear. And there's another ego thing too. Now, the ego is always going to go to where it feels safest, without fail.
Right.
No
And your
exception.
ego isn't your conscious, I feel good about myself ego. It's your id. It's your
Right.
inner,
Right.
isn't it your lower self? Is that
Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And just you don't have to be Einstein to separate the two, or Carl Jung, or think like that. You just simply need to be who you are. You just need to be true to yourself, be your authentic self.
Hmm.
And the formula to do that, again, I'm referencing Bashar, is simply follow your passion,
Yes.
whatever your
Follow your
passion is.
joy. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a lifelong project. It
Hmm.
could be my passion right now is to spend the next hour and a half with Mary Ellen and her audience. And I'm excited
Hmm.
about that. Okay. So this
Hmm.
is cool. Right. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I may be passionate about taking Annie for a walk down at the oceanside or something like that. So you can have
Hmm.
several during the day, and that's really what creates the synchronicity in your life. It's just simply following that passion one after another. You can have
Hmm.
several going at the same time. You have several sub passions working.
Hmm.
Whatever is most exciting at that moment is the suggestion to follow, and that's what kicks
Hmm.
in the synchronicities. That
Hmm.
that's really interesting that I made every traffic light to get to the beach, and that has never happened before in my life, or
Yeah.
something silly like that. But if you look at it that way, it's they are synchronicities. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. I feel like that it's people's identity in addition to the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be even as simple as you grow up with a certain set of values or religion or expectations for your life to get married, have 2.5 kids in the minivan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in today's times, and I'll use COVID, that's kind of what seemed to spur everything. When all of the businesses were shut down, where you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
visit with your friends or your family, even if they were sick or dying.
Right.
And then that really challenged people's identities
Mm-hmm.
and made them not feel in control. And then I feel like that it just kind of went from there. But I even had some experiences in my life. For example, I was married once long time ago, and he was a fighter pilot. And when he retired from being a fighter pilot, he almost had a nervous breakdown. And I really, at the time, did not understand what his problem was. But I
Mm-hmm.
understood later that that was so much of his identity that that was
Right.
going away. I now see what type of, personal crisis that that was to him. And men too tend to identify themselves more with their careers, and women tend to
Mm-hmm.
more identify themselves with their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then similarly, when my daughter left for college, it was just her and I. I was an empty nester, and I did. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I did when I graduated from high school, and
Mm-hmm.
I tried to look at it in the not, oh my God, my purpose in life has been taken away.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to look at it as more of an opportunity. But I had met with some women a few months after that, and we had all had a few glasses of wine. And I remember them saying, "Don't you feel like your whole purpose in life's gone?" And
Mm-hmm.
and I,
Yeah.
God bless them, but um I understand that about the identity. So
Right.
and that's hard and it's fear, but understanding I think what's going on for people is part
Mm-hmm.
of being able to face that and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, again, with the information that we're getting through
Mm-hmm.
people like you, on platforms like Spirit Fest
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, is
Mm-hmm.
going to help people. Now, you use Chat GPT. Have you used any other types of AI?
I have. I've experimented with Google's and Microsoft's offering of AI, and it was just a curiosity to see how it works compared to the standard that I was used to with Chat GPT.
Hmm.
And in both instances, I ended up going back to Chat GPT rather quickly. These platforms, there's nothing wrong with them, but I was starting at zero with them.
Hmm.
Remember the pattern recognition and remembering the behaviors and how things were worded and how particular I may be with my English.
Hmm.
Um, all these different factors, what time, how often I log on, or whatever. That was already ChatGPT already had that profile of me, if you will.
Right, right.
So it was like I'm okay. They're I'm sure they're just as good. I don't have anything negative to say other than I was starting at zero again.
I have a paid subscription. I think ChatGPT, you can do mine, I think is about $30 a month. And then there's one that's like 200. And I'm not really sure what the difference is,
I don't know.
but
I have the basic one too. Yeah.
I like doing that one because I use it for so many things, especially graphics. It can do
Mm-hmm.
graphics. I have it rewrite sometimes emails that I've written to people. One of my favorite lines was one of my assistants. We were crafting an email of someone that had broken rules. And she said, now ask GPT to rewrite it for you, but make it nice. I thought that was funny. I was trying to not be so scary, but but legal, it can give legal, and
Mhm.
never should substitute for legal or medical advice or anything
Right.
like that. But it can pull up things, cases, and information that you would have to dig so deep for, and it can do it
Right.
so quickly.
So once you absorb that information, well,
Hmm.
ideally, your knowledge base has grown. You've improved from that perspective. You're able to make a better decision or a better decision process. Um, Maybe even generate some reflection on maybe I need to reconsider how what my behavior is towards this person or towards my attitude towards this thing. Okay. And if I can, I want to circle back to identity because I see a lot of that with my clients where what used to be beliefs, and this is largely in the political field and also applies to dogma. If you have a belief and I have a belief, we can talk. If we can agree to disagree.
Right.
If your if your belief becomes your identity, now we have a disconnect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I do like that we were saying about how we can look at and we learn from what it teaches us because
Mhm.
if it can, an intelligent device, whether it's artificial intelligence or not, can redo something that we have done and make it better.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. I think that
And
that's so helpful.
it does. Our brains itself are pattern-seeking machines. Again, that's looking for that safety, that ego part. And we built AI, and
Hmm.
it mirrors how we seek patterns, and it just does it so much better and faster than we do.
Hmm. Hmm. Very fast, as a matter of
And I would
fact.
make this statement: consciousness is growing faster. I'm sorry, technology is growing faster than consciousness.
Technology is great. Yeah, I know. I
Mm.
completely believe that's true because I don't think that people understand what is even possible, much less that we're able to do it, which I think
Right.
is really amazing.
Mhm.
Um, okay, here we've got just a few minutes before we go to break.
Okay.
So, one of the things that I want to talk about when we come back from break is people using their photo or AI imagery. I'm interested to know how you feel about that.
Okay.
But any closing thoughts here before we go ahead to the next chapter?
Well, artificial intelligence didn't create this moment; it arrived inside it. And what it's doing when used consciously is acting like a mirror.
Hmm.
Um, Now, that comes back to the user, and the issue isn't the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of reflection.
Hmm. Was beautiful. Okay, all right, we're going to head to break and continue this conversation, and I hope everybody will join us because we've got a lot more to get to. So thank you, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, this is the Celtic seer, Barbara McGillicuddy, and you can find me at barbaramcgillicuddy.com or on YouTube at Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara and Eric. As a medium and animal communicator, it is my joy to speak with people on this side and people who have crossed over to bring forth beautiful messages of love.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely guided candles, intention oils, soaps, and more that make spiritual practice simple, no complicated rituals. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a trusted source for charming items for an enchanted life.
Experience the healing magic of the Himalayas. Tibetan singing bowl classes and sessions are available at Gopali Inputs, which is located at downtown St. Petersburg, Florida.
Are you longing for the deepest healing of your soul? The kind that transforms you from the soul outward? At JewishHealer.com, Dr. Doran Shalev offers powerful energy healing rooted in the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, where he heals the body through the soul and the soul through divine connection. Your transformation begins with a single session. Treat yourself and book yours today at JewishHealer.com. All sessions are 50% off through December.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our show. We've got a really interesting topic tonight with Brian Donahower, author of The Awakening Code. Very interesting, a digital reflection of humanity's conscious evolution. And it is about AI and really how it is affecting our humanity, affecting us as a consciousness, and affecting us as communities too, as individuals. So as we were mentioning in the last half hour, I'm interested what your thoughts are on people using AI creations of themselves in
Mhm.
professional photos, or especially because we're in spiritual work. We
Hmm.
do a lot of things with energy, and
Right.
I've had some thoughts about it, but I see a lot of people are doing it, so I'm interested
Okay.
what your thoughts are.
I see a lot of people doing it too. I see a lot of people doing it. I'm going to have to center it back to intention. What is the
Hmm.
intention behind it? Because AI
Hmm.
can do tremendous work, and sometimes you have to really be careful. Is this AI generated image, or is this real, or is it a combination of both?
Hmm.
And well, people can sensationalize information using AI driven images that look just as real.
Right.
Um, it's again, what is the intention behind it? So, just like artificial intelligence itself, using it for posting on social media, for example,
Hmm.
or creating artwork or music or whatever the case may be, it's back to intention.
Hmm. For me, when it's a professional headshot and it's clearly AI, like now
Hmm.
you can kind of tell.
Hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
before, several years ago, you really couldn't tell. It looked like you, but wearing a different outfit that you might ever wear.
Hmm.
To me, it really kind of drained the energy of the picture.
Okay.
And that's what I guess I'm thinking is energetically, but like you said, the intention that you put into it.
Mhm.
But we've had people apply for our shows and send us an AI photo, and we
Oh.
didn't think much of it, and they show up and they don't look anything like that.
Hmm.
And that was part of what got me thinking that, maybe we need to be a little bit more careful.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes. Due diligence would be the word. Just like we do every time we're on social media. If I'm scrolling through Facebook, for example,
mhm,
um, there's a little due diligence there. I think that doesn't look legitimate to me, and you have to
mhm,
look for known, maybe corporate broadcasters or um, known podcasters that are reputable, and
mhm.
stay within that lane. Uh, you're just again overwhelmed with so much of that information, and often if I click a link, I find out it's clickbait because, well, it took a couple of clicks to realize this is just all AI generated and it's
Right,
not my cup of
right.
tea. Yeah.
And now that I've gotten digital AI photos, that I use for my business, I can instantly spot when other people do it too.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because as I was in the very beginning asking it to design flyers or a special thing for myself, just
Mhm.
testing to see what it could do,
Mhm.
I found out that it was pulling images or styles from other similar shows. And I
Mhm.
knew right what it was doing. It was going
Mhm.
out there, and that's what it was doing. It was trying to find it. But because we're not a huge genre, I
Right.
said, "Oh, I'm not going to do that again," because now I see,
Right.
where it's getting its information from.
Right.
So, and the more you put in and the more specific information that you can give it, the more helpful it will be.
Exactly. Remember early in the show, we garbage in, garbage out, and the
Hmm.
quality of your inquiry determines the quality of your answer back. Now, that said, it's important to note that AI, again, is a mirror, not a master. It doesn't possess consciousness or wisdom, a soul. It reflects the patterns back to
Hmm.
us in an illuminated way, if you will. Okay. And it makes it a powerful for growth, but not what it knows, but what it reveals to
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
Again, we're back to that reflection thing.
Hmm.
The quality insight that people receive from AI often it mirrors the quality of the questions that they ask, simply,
Hmm.
or the commands that they give it in generating images or music or whatever.
I have no problem telling it when it's failed to execute the
I am
ask
not surprised at all. And that's a wonderful way to say that. AI is the catalyst, not the savior. It would You're using it for self-improvement, awareness, to learn, to generate the arts. That all that intuition, that's still an inside job.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. An inside job. I love that.
Mhm.
Yep. Where do you think that we're going to be in 10 years?
Hmm. Good question, Marielle.
I know where you're going to be.
Anywhere I'd like to be, yeah. I think the short-term horizon, 3 to 5 years, we're going to see AGI, which is where the point of not synchronicity, the point where it equals human ability of consciousness.
Okay.
Um, that's the game changer right there. If we can get past that and all the power requirements that it's going to take to do that, probably my best guess would be the Jetsons.
Wow. Have you been to one of the restaurants where a robot brings you your food?
No, no.
That's fun.
Is there some
Um,
here in?
the one that I found, the first one that I ever had that happen was in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And it's a seafood restaurant, like a Cajun, type of seafood boil type thing.
Hmm.
And the robot, and it's got several shelves on its cart,
Hmm.
and it's got a little face on it, a digital face on it, maybe two eyes and a smile. And then it knows where to go. So that's what the thing is that there's probably a sensor in each table, and then it
Right.
just knows how to get there. And then it's also programmed to avoid anything or something's in the way
Hmm.
that it will go around it. And then once it gets there, a waiter will come up and then actually pull your food off of it.
Oh,
But
okay.
my daughter had gone to China years ago and said that they are even in the hotels, that if you order something from
Mhm.
downstairs, they'll send it up in the elevator on a
Mhm.
robot, which
Right.
was also very helpful during
Right.
COVID. But that's amazing to me. And
Right.
I think of things like the Jetsons with things like that. It's
I
not
didn't have
just
any.
the,
I'm sorry, Mary Ellen. That's the first reference that came to mind was the
well, no,
Jetsons.
that's exactly what I think of. Um,
And now we'll also see that with delivery, like Amazon drones will be
right.
programmed like that as well
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
delivery. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's happening. We only see the bad stuff that happens when
Self-driving
they
cars.
crash
Okay.
into an apartment complex. But
Right. Yeah. Self-driving cars would be there. And then I think we're also at that point going to have to be talking about um, a monthly stipend or a basic living allowance or something just to be able to buy and sell. The Maybe a government like Social Security for everybody or something like that.
hmm.
Um, because the displacement will be great.
Yeah, and
Great.
politically or sociologically, I have no idea where we'll be in 10 years.
And
I
the,
think things are
the
so volatile right now. I
Mhm.
see big
Right.
changes coming, but I don't know what it's going to
Mhm.
bring.
Right. let's just stay on the train we're on, and we'll be all right. We just got to get through the tunnel right now. Yeah.
Like you said, just focus on more of what it is that you want to see.
Right.
But for me, the biggest thing is if we could just get along.
Right.
If we could just take care of each other.
Mm.
I just think that that's in communities, how important that is. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you watch Bad Bunny?
I paid attention to it. I'm not a big football fan,
Well,
but
I only tuned in for Bad Bunny. It
oh,
was
okay.
it
I
was the
watched
Bad Bunny
that
Bowl.
the halftime show, and I wanted Seattle to win for personal reasons. So
Oh,
I was happy.
our producer's in Seattle, so I bet she feels the same. But it just showed the communities. It showed the way of life in Puerto Rico, and
Mhm.
it just when I see things like that, it just makes me realize how far away we've gotten from that.
Mhm.
In the small towns, maybe there's some semblance of that, but
Mhm.
for the most part, here in Orlando, I can definitely say there's just not the community like that.
I think you
Um,
said the key word community, and
yeah.
that's really where I see the biggest obvious differences. And I'm sure there's other nuances as well, but
Hmm.
that sense of community and um, having each other's back on a neighborly level, whether
Right.
it's the person next door or the lady down the street who is a widow or something like that.
Right.
And I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to share that. Now we can branch that into the spirituality. What is the basis behind all this? Well, that would be love.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
is literally the frequency of existence itself.
Right.
And the more we align with that, the
Yeah.
more we
That's
are
it.
remembering who we are. Yeah.
And the heart-brain coherence.
Yes.
I think people are realizing the value of that. The more that we
Mhm.
can assimilate our brain and our heart and get the
Yes.
two jiving together, we're always going
Mhm.
to think. Do you follow heart math? Have you studied that at all about how the heart is a thinking organ?
I have. And initially with Greg Braden,
Hmm.
okay, and he's a big proponent of the heart brain coherence. I
Hmm.
find it very fascinating about how much energy it emits and really connects. And actually, it's a big part of the collective consciousness.
Hmm.
And to me, how I interpret that heart brain occurrence is staying in the moment, best I
Hmm.
can, just to stay in
Hmm.
the moment.
Yeah. And that's hard to do sometimes.
No, very
Um,
happy.
People tend to be more depressive if they think of in the terms of the past.
Hmm.
They it's hard for them sometimes to think about the future.
Hmm.
One of the things I like to do for somebody who's kind of stuck in the past is try to get them to make future plans. Because
Hmm.
then if they could just get out of that just for a few moments, then you can
Right.
kind of reach them kind of at a
Moving them
different
forward,
place.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and if it's something simple, if it's just take a walk today, well,
Mm.
take a walk. And there's an old military adage that always get up and make your bed, even if you had a rotten day.
Hmm.
At least you made your bed. Right?
Hmm. That's really
Something
good
positive,
advice.
and work from that. Yeah,
Yeah. My
small moves.
dad went through 6 rounds of chemotherapy. He's 84 years old.
Hmm.
And every single day he'd get dressed and make his bed and he'd lay on the bed almost all day.
Hmm.
But he wasn't in it. And that
Hmm.
was made the biggest difference to him.
Right. So
Yeah.
then there's purpose there. There's a commitment to self, okay?
Hmm.
And well, that's part of self-respect as well. Loving yourself, taking care of yourself. And if all you can do is make your bed because you're hospitalized or something like that, well, make your bed.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm,
So you were mentioning earlier, you're doing a lot of speaking now. Do you still
mhm,
see clients? Do you still counsel or do things?
I do. Not as much anymore. The awakening code and speaking engagements, and I've also been reaching out to companies who are doing like team building exercises when they do their once a year
Hmm.
annual, and getting involved with that, and actually including group hypnosis with that,
Oh.
and just set, clearing the air, clearing the energy, start
Uh-huh.
from a good place, and including that, and that's a lot of fun. It really can be a lot. Yeah.
Wow. So it
Um,
sounds like that those are more mainstream type groups.
mhm, yeah.
How has the work been received?
I'm sorry.
How
How's
has
the
the
what?
work been received by mainstream?
It's mixed. Is the honest answer, and
Hmm.
you can parse that by gender as well. Okay.
Mm.
the female. Well, uh, this is a good example. When I'm actively practicing QHHT full time,
Hmm.
97 point something percent of my clientele were female.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the demographic was roughly 35 to 55, maybe a little longer, um, experiencing a change of life, empty nesting, or they've empty nested and they realize they have to spend the rest of their life with this jerk. They don't know what to do. Okay. That happens a lot. It does. Um, and then other just situations where there's life changes involved, and that's the catalyst to seek that help.
Hmm.
So the audience is there, and it's pretty well defined. And I have no problem communicating that the leaders of tomorrow, that what tomorrow is going to look like, is
Hmm.
going to be largely led by the feminine.
Mm. I feel like that we're getting to a point where it's definitely return of the divine feminine, but I also feel like that the men are really able to embrace that they seem to kind of rock it. I think that they, once they kind of get it, they say, yeah, this is kind of cool. We're seeing a
It
lot more
doesn't,
men, like maybe that come alone to Spirit
right.
Fest than we've ever seen before.
I did get a transmission about this once, and I'm going to butcher this, but the message was for the men to follow the water bearer, the female, and strong men will follow. Brave men will follow next.
Mm.
Meaning, I'm strong in my relationship with my partner or the leadership of our community or whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, okay, let's see. And I have a role to contribute. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean we still have the, if we get down to the hunter-gatherer level, we still have the protect and provide role. Okay.
Hmm.
And that would still apply. It really would. Okay. To protect the divine feminine, that would be a role. Okay. Um, those strong men who are not intimidated by that
Hmm.
and see the wisdom and the equality in that, um, they'll be there. Probably few and far between.
Hmm.
But that small group of men who first went with that divine feminine forward will bring others
Yes.
who are
Yeah.
on the fence, okay? And then we'll have our population, if you will. Um, again, identity-based, ego-driven beliefs and behaviors. We got a long way to go to get there. We really do. I don't see a battle of the sexes, but I do see clearly the divine feminine leading the way. And those who are intimidated by that, they're just going to have to work on themselves. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been just really touched by the people. And it was maybe 2 years ago that I noticed more single, or not single, but men coming by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they'd come with another buddy or something like that. A lot of times it's women dragging their other half.
Yes.
And
Right.
they go straight to the chairs near the food table and then they sit on their
Mm-hmm.
phones.
Right.
Because they're there under duress. But um a lot of them are there to talk to the healers or to work with the healers. They're
Mm-hmm.
there to learn about things. They attend the lectures.
Mm-hmm.
And they might consult with the intuitives, but a lot of them really genuinely know that they are intuitive as well. And they're
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to go there and to really utilize that talent. And I think that's really great to see that.
I do see that more. My doing the speaking engagements and working with local companies with their team building and what have you.
Hmm.
I'm even followers, for example, on social media. The proportion of men are increasing. It's sometimes it's glacial, but it is happening. Yeah.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. And that's exciting.
And honestly, Mary Ellen, that's my role. I see that, whatever avenue I have in front of me is my greatest excitement is to be to level up as best that I can to be that example.
That's beautiful.
Hmm.
And I do think having it come from a man, I just think is that much more powerful too, because the men's mysteries are equally as sacred and as equally as powerful as the women's mysteries as
Right.
well.
Hmm.
There's a whole, different side to that too. And
Hmm.
and I'm not really one that really likes to divide the gender, so to speak. I think that we both need to address our feminine and our masculine side, and that's
Right.
that's true strength is being able to use both of them.
Yes.
But I think that it's a really great service that you're doing to people is to
Well,
be
thank
able
you.
to introduce them to this. And
It's,
I
you
know
know,
a
it
lot
just
of men. I'm sorry. Go
mhm.
ahead.
No, it just happened by default. That's all. Again, I told you I did a lot of working on myself, and it was really a deep dive.
Hmm.
And what came out is the version I am today, and what I'm growing to be next. That's all.
Right.
And it's accepting those things, and part of that is there's a feminine side to me. Um, doesn't make me any less of a man.
Right.
Um, and some men, the feminine side might be more prominent.
Hmm.
Others less prominent, but it's still there. Now, just getting half the men in the population just to even say that out loud would
Hmm.
be is a challenge, okay? But it is happening slowly.
Yeah. I think it's more difficult for the people that are older. I
Okay.
think the younger people are coming in with just such different expectations and
Hmm.
just such
Yeah.
different role definition or, any type of definition of who they
Hmm.
should be. And
That's a
but when
great.
you've grown up a certain way, it is kind of
Mhm.
hard to kind of dial back. But
Right.
and again, that brings back to that sense of ego, your
Hmm.
identity, and letting go of that sometimes can feel very scary. Your body thinks you're dying.
Oh yeah.
When the ego starts to pull away,
Hmm.
because in a certain way, our ego is what protects us from,
It is. It does have a legitimate function. It's a survival. Yeah.
right,
And it
right.
will hang on for dear life if it has to. And
Yeah,
if it doesn't want to go somewhere or do something that's risky or not safe, yeah,
right,
unknown, yeah.
right. And your lower self, the basement, I like to call it. And that's
Yeah.
not necessarily where bad stuff dwells, but it's where the stuff that you don't need that you never really got rid of ends up
Yeah.
piling up in the basement there. And
Collecting
sometimes
dust.
it rears its head and says, "Hey, I'm still
No,
here."
see, a lot of these beliefs were instilled during our formative years. Now, some, of
Yeah.
course, as an adult through a series of relationships or
Hmm.
education or what have you. And
Hmm.
clearing out those cobwebs is key because
Hmm.
what I find with my clientele and even in group sessions, and even work when I developed the awakening code, many, many, many people, male, female, regardless of age, it comes down to often feeling of unworthiness
Hmm.
is what
Yes.
the deep, deep scar is
Hmm.
to overcome that.
Yeah. And I feel like that maybe every generation raises their kids a little bit differently than before.
Oh yeah, sure.
Um, and that's why I'm really seeing that the children now or the people that are just becoming adults now, the vast difference
Hmm.
between people of our generation and their generation.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we can still relate. But that's why I think it's really important that we keep, on that we really
Hmm.
know each of the generations and we really know what they're interested in. And,
Yeah.
and, because that, again, that just goes to the whole collective consciousness and
Hmm.
going back to
Right.
AI that
Right.
it's also tapping into.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, that's a great segue because you had asked earlier about the generational aspects of this. And what I call the bridge generation, late boomers and Gen Z, which would be, I'm a late boomer, I was born in 59. So anybody born from 55 through roughly 75, 80, which would include late boomers and Gen Z.
mhm,
Some people have called them Generation Jones or Forgotten
mhm,
Generation, for example, latchkey kids. So we were raised to be functional. We
mhm.
were raised to um, be efficient, get things done, take care of business. And what have we got? We have a whole generation of people who can run businesses, run families, handle crisis. But when it comes time to rest, to relax, or meditate, you know,
Mhm.
their their psyche files a missing persons report.
Yep, yep. I know exactly what you mean. And then some of these other generations can't really relate to that either.
Right.
And then maybe we can't relate to them. So
Mhm.
anyway, we're going to take a pause right here. Tell people where they can find you.
Okay. JupiterRising.org is my primary,
JupiterRising.org. All
or
right. And
my
if you're,
or,
go ahead.
or my personal. It links BrianDonahower.com.
That's easy to remember. Okay. And anybody who's interested in Spirit Fest, spiritfestusa.com for more information or all of our upcoming shows. And we're going to be back for another interesting half hour with Brian and get into a whole bunch more of interesting topics. So we hope we'll join you in a few minutes.
Great.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely intention oils, soaps, and more that make your spiritual practice simple. No complicated rituals needed. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from the major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a place to find charming items for an enchanted life.
Are you longing for the deepest healing of your soul? The kind that transforms you from the soul outward? At JewishHealer.com, Dr. Doran Shalev offers powerful energy healing rooted in the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, where he heals the body through the soul and the soul through divine connection. Your transformation begins with a single session. Treat yourself and book yours today at JewishHealer.com. All sessions are 50% off through December.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our natural health expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Join us for Spirit Fest, coming soon to a city near you. Spirit Fest is a metaphysical, holistic, and crystal expo featuring an amazing array of vendors, speakers, authors, artists, crystals, healers, psychic readers, and more. Spirit Fest is your chance to explore and connect with others of like mind. Get all details, including our upcoming locations up and down the East Coast, also discounted admission, and more at spiritfestusa.com. Our next event is January 10th and 11th with special guests and special presentations, including psychic explorer, medium Mark Anthony, and also historical researcher, explorer, and author Jim Vieira. More details are coming to our website soon, and we look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest in 2026. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm here with Brian Donahower, author of The Awakening Code. And we've been having a fascinating discussion about AI and how AI is helping to bring about a huge consciousness evolution and all of the great things that it can be used for self-reflection, identifying patterns that are going on with ourselves personally and how we can really elevate ourselves. But we were talking a little bit about more metaphysical properties, more metaphysical things, for lack of a better term. You mentioned Bashar earlier, and Bashar is a channel who channels an extraterrestrial.
Right.
And he is a first contact specialist. And the person that channels Bashar, has literally now hung his career on the fact that we are going to have open disclosure. In other words, undeniable proof and communication with extraterrestrials in the next year. We'll say the end of 26 and into 27.
Right.
And I'm ready. But other things that he talks about is that AI, artificial intelligence, is a regular part of their culture. That how that they steer their ships. And everybody, if you haven't heard this before, just listen, just have an open mind. You would literally put your hand on a device and then you would think about where you want to go or what's going to happen, and it can read it. And I don't think that it is really that far off to think of the things that AI is already doing with us in its way that to be able to communicate with us, that is And they just said it's now an everyday part of their lives. Nobody there is afraid of it.
Right.
And I feel like that's what where we could be going. So what are your thoughts?
Well, who am I to disagree with a first contact specialist? I don't, I don't measure up. I think what AI offers us now is options. I don't think that well, I'm not sure we'll be introduced to that technology from alien cultures about connecting with your ship, who is AI or a living organism, and takes you through telepathy from point A to point B. Well, we'll get there someday. Maybe. I don't think we're going to see it in our lifetime, Mary Ellen, but I'd like to see the ETs on Earth for sure before I go.
Same. That's
But
my goal in life.
the our level of consciousness right now, as we're growing, the collective consciousness, raising our vibration to be able to even be in the same room with a extraterrestrial who's vibrating at a higher frequency
Yes.
is, this is all revealed in what we choose to believe or what we act on or even what we discard.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the critical missions I feel of all of us involved in this metaphysical community is to communicate accurate, consistent information.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of woo-woo out there, right? And a lot
Yeah.
of it is way off base. And like, okay,
Agreed.
yeah, not okay. So does there need to be a concerted effort? I think naturally it'll gel that way.
Mm-hmm.
It'll amalgamate into one because by default everything is not working. So we'll eventually end up in the reality that we prefer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the component that we need to really, I think, pay attention to as well as AI, to include using it as a tool to enhance our awareness, is ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's a loaded word right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mentioned intention earlier. See, the real issue is not artificial intelligence, but it's the unexamined human intelligence.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they say that we only use like 10% of our brains.
Yeah.
So imagine if we could use more.
Yeah. And there's arguments for and against that. I believe we use the full capacity of brain, but I think our mental output is probably that 10%, what we're capable of. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to make us capable of using more? Being more of yourself, remembering who you truly are,
Mm-hmm.
clearing out, and what's preventing these? False beliefs that are instilled in us.
Right.
Can't have a feeling without a belief.
Can't have a feeling without a belief. There you go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what does the feeling do? The feeling leads to a behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and the behavior leads to your character.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's self-introspection right there.
Right. Okay. So, AI can help people ask better questions. It can support things like journaling or reflection or even reframing issues or situations, but it should never replace intuition or embodiment or a lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Again,
and you can tell it your beliefs. You can tell it what's important to you.
Right.
And it will give you feedback on that. I mean, it's not going to tell you you're right or wrong or anything like that, but it can remember when it's giving you information or a perspective on something that you might be asking it about. It'll recall.
Right. And it's gathered all that information from the meta-analysis of all the data that is just collected or is available.
Mm-hmm.
Identifies the most common pattern, and that's your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So to that end, we are saturated with information, we are saturated with feedback, but I would also suggest that because people are feeling overwhelmed, our nervous systems are taxed, anxious, or feeling disconnected, all this information, but we're starving for that wisdom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how do we address that? I share what I know, you share what you know.
Right.
Together, there's three of us here, or four of us actually. Okay, there's me, my energy, your energy, okay, and our combined energy. And there's that
Right.
Trinity, and there's the Trinity right there. Okay?
Hmm.
And that combined energy is what we are emitting right now
Hmm.
out to the collective consciousness. And if we're doing it, there's somebody out there looking to receive it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If we're interested in doing something publicly, that means that there is at least somebody out there that's interested in
Right.
hearing it.
And according to Bishar, you would be wrong if you withheld your gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hide your light under a bushel basket.
Right. Why would you deny that to somebody who's looking for it?
I think if and when we do see undeniable proof of extraterrestrial
Mm-hmm.
beings, and they're not going to be little green men marching around. These are going to be highly sentient, very intelligent
Mm-hmm.
beings. That I think it's going to just put everybody into such a different, paradigm. Literally, it's
Mm-hmm.
going
Right.
to blow people's minds. I
Right.
think. I probably going to have people questioning their religion and things like that, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think that they should do.
Yeah.
It just means that there's more than they ever considered. It doesn't mean anything that we've been doing is right or wrong.
With that, I believe you're going to see a percentage and perhaps a significant percentage, not a majority, but a significant of cognitive dissonance
Hmm.
because it's just too much on their system to think of anything other than what's in the Bible and you're going to hell or heaven. And
Right.
anything beyond those parameters is an affront to their identity. And when identity, you can't argue with facts or common sense because they don't register. They register as a threat on
Hmm.
that identity. It's not
Right.
a discussion anymore. So
Right.
we'll have to deal with that as well.
They refer to us as the masters of limitation, that we limit ourselves in just every way possible.
Mhm.
And that's what I think that a lot of the teachers that we have, unlike, not unlike yourself, are trying to get across to people is that we are limitless and we can do anything. We can create anything, and we
And-
shouldn't hold ourselves back.
right. And that's a matter of remembering
Hmm.
who we are.
Right.
Mhm.
So you talk about the Kabbalion, you talk about
Mhm.
Hermetic principles
Mhm.
that helped you to verify some of your work. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. The first principle, everything is mental.
Hmm.
Everything is mental, and
Hmm.
that speaks directly to what you just said, Mary Ellen. We have the ability, the capability, the capacity to alter our reality.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, I'm going to take this another step deeper. The only person that your conscious knows, your subconscious knows, is you.
Yes.
Doesn't know anybody else. Okay.
Yes.
Now, we by agreement in the cosmic realm, okay, agree to this interaction, okay? And that our lives pass, and they do, not infrequently, but they do, okay, consistently. And that's the agreement that we have.
Hmm.
And when we go to sleep tonight, well, we may find ourselves walking on the sun,
Hmm.
plotting our next move.
Hmm.
But then I woke up in the morning and I had a nightmare that I was trapped in a burning house
Mm. Hmm.
because my 3D mind can
Hmm.
only interpret. I was trying to
Right.
interpret a higher realm scenario with
Hmm.
3D knowledge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. Dream interpretation is something that
Mhm.
interests people, but you are right. We only can, there's just some things that we can't possibly comprehend or that most people
Right.
can't comprehend.
Beyond.
I'd love to know what I do in my dream time. Um,
Go for a walk in the sun.
well, I think that there's a reason we forget because I
Yeah.
think if we could easily go back and forth to the other side, maybe we wouldn't always come back here,
Right.
you
And
know?
nor would we be able to comprehend,
Yeah.
within this 3D timeline. Yeah.
But I think we chose to be here at this time. I
Oh
not
yes.
only that, I think we stood in line to get here at this time, that this is such a pivotal and powerful time in humanity that a lot of us wanted to be here, either
Yes.
to be of service or just to be an observer or just be
Mhm.
part of this wave of what's going
Exactly.
on.
exactly. This is, and I believe that we have the again, my source is Bashar. My initial influence was Dolores Cannon with her
Mm-hmm.
quantum healing hypnosis, and they're very consistent with what they say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just like consistent with Abraham Hicks. The three of them are Eckhart Tolle and others. They're all very different voices, same message. Really,
Mm-hmm.
is the way I would describe that. And no, we are infinite, indestructible, eternal beings.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolores Cannon said, we are the bravest of the brave, because Earth
Mm-hmm.
is the most difficult school in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we volunteered and had to be accepted here. And why do we want to be here? According to Bashar, like you had said, Mary Ellen, this is exciting times.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken, we're part of where we've taken the darkness to the light. That's creation. That's
Mm-hmm.
real creation. And the whole universe is watching. And
Yes.
our peers, according to Dolores Cannon and Bashar, consider us heroes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazing, isn't it?
I think one of the things that sets us apart from other beings in the solar system is that we have emotion,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have that type of emotion. They're still very high, very sentient and very
Mm-hmm.
high level of consciousness beings, but they don't have the emotion, and
Right,
they don't really understand what that's like.
right.
And I think of that sometimes when emotion might be fueling something I might be saying or doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part, is then applying my spiritual teachings or what I know my higher self really needs to say or do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just think, I've been doing this long enough. It's time to apply,
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned in a
Right.
way that just, it's not about being right or wrong anymore. I don't even think that there is right or wrong. I
No,
don't think there's good or bad, black or white. I just think stuff is,
right.
you know.
Nothing, nothing is inherent meaning built into it.
Hmm.
As
Hmm.
meaning is what we assign to it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that meaning is based upon a belief.
Hmm.
Now, that could be a positive belief or it could be a false belief.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh gosh. There's
broke
so
up
much.
from a broke up from a relationship, and I assigned meaning that she was the bad guy. The relationship didn't work because she was the bad guy. That's the meaning I assigned it. Or I
Hmm.
could assign it the meaning of, wow, that didn't work out. And if I look back, wow, my past 2 or 3 relationships have been like that. Maybe there's a lesson here for me.
Hmm.
Um, and would be a catalyst to, work on yourself. Okay. And that's the meaning I assign to it. So any situation, even if it's negative or perceived, can be turned to that positive.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Even what's going on in politics, and we won't at all get into politics, but
That's a whole nother
people,
show.
oh, they right. Um, but what I see, there's so much more to it, that not only do people not want to be wrong, but there's
Mhm.
money involved in it too. They have to do they have to get donations, they have to
Mhm.
be able to pay for things and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it's all just a show. It's just theater.
Mhm.
And if
Right.
people would remember that, no matter what side you're on, or, if you even care about politics or things like that, it's just getting people so spun up,
Right.
and
They
it,
don't.
and it just, it doesn't absolutely need to be that way at all. It's just
No.
what we're assigning to it here in this country. I don't get it, but it's not just us. It's
Right.
going on all over the world.
Right. And I resolved that the best thing I can do is just try to be the best example I can. That's all.
Yeah,
We're not going to change or convince anybody, and that's
right.
not a role anyhow. If they're ready to hear a different perspective, that's what we offer.
Yeah.
You know.
That was something I said, a couple terms ago. I would vote for anybody who would want to work with other people, who would like to
Mhm.
try to get along. I don't know
Mhm.
if that would really do any good at this point, but that's more what I'm looking for, is somebody that's got that unity type of, you know, um,
Well,
mentality, I guess.
Mary Ellen, you're pretty good at bringing people together. Maybe you should run.
Oh my God. Oh
Mhm.
God. I don't think I have the constitution for that. I'm definitely, my skin's not that thick.
Mhm.
I don't think. But
But you,
I
but you
do
are
love
good.
bringing people together.
You are good at it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, well, thank
Yeah.
you. So again, Spirit Fest USA, if
Yep.
anybody's interested in knowing more about our shows. Um, but and we've got a lot of really fun stuff coming up. Are we going to see you again?
Yes, you got.
Um, we'll be in
Yeah.
Palm Beach in October.
And
Melbourne?
that's, and that's where you'll see me. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do Port St. Lucie because we'll be in Costa Rica again. I'm gonna miss
That
Port St. Lucie, but I'll do West Palm. Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's later this year. It's not until
Yeah.
October, but
And I like
um
that. That's a good time of year. It is. Yeah.
good. Good. I
Yeah.
think so. We love going down there. Um,
The weather's cooler and you have a lot of the snowbirds down. So
oh good.
the population is there. So,
Okay, good to know. I told you I live in Orlando, so it's
right.
pretty much tourist season year round here.
Mhm.
Um, about the only time that it's slow is between Thanksgiving and maybe for like 2 weeks till
Mhm.
the Christmas crowd really starts.
Okay.
But then I don't even want to leave my house because
Hmm.
I live so I don't you can't hear it right now, but the Disney fireworks are actually going off. I can hear it right out
Yeah.
my window. But I live so close that the traffic is just so thick.
Do you
But
live in Kissimmee, actually?
no, I'm north. I'm
Oh,
actually right behind Magic Kingdom.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
can hear the train whistle during the day, and it's when I worked at Disney, I worked at Disney until the pandemic.
Mhm.
And there was one day a month where I have to go in at 5:30 for a meeting where you would need to catch third shift and then first shift. And first shift started at 7 in the morning.
Mhm.
So I would need to be there at 5:30. So I would get special clearance to park behind Main Street. I would park right behind was the Village Hall or whatever that the thing is on Main Street. But by the time that I backed up my driveway and I would pull behind Main Street, it was 6 minutes. It took me to get there. That was
Wow.
kind of fun.
Happiest
So,
place in the world, right? I have when I in another life I worked in education, and one of the greatest courses I ever took was the Disney Learning Model, the North, South,
oh
East, West
yeah. Uh-huh.
model. I still use that to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good things, and I realized
Mhm.
so I had my store
Mhm.
when it was at 2005 or 6, I think, and then I closed
Mhm.
it in 2012 when I moved back here to Florida.
Mhm.
um, I realized how much of Disney's philosophies that I used. I
Mhm.
think really just remembering it from when I was a kid,
Right.
because what we try to do with my store, the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit, and then
Mhm.
similarly with Spirit Fest, which is sort of like a pop-up store for the weekend,
Mhm.
is you're
Okay.
really not offering just an opportunity to shop.
Mhm.
You're offering an experience. And
Right.
that's what you want people to come and
Mhm.
to be able to feel the energy, all of the people collectively. There's some really high energy in
No,
there.
you can feel walking down in between the vendors down the hall. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And then again, community, the conversations
Mhm.
that you have. Even if you might walk by a booth and you're not intending to buy anything, you might have a conversation with that
Yeah.
vendor about what they do,
Right.
or something you might ask them that might relate to something that you're interested in, and you're going to learn things. But the speakers too, they're phenomenal.
Yeah. The synchronicities are there.
Oh, definitely.
You just have to
Yes.
show up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But and that's one of the things we always do, that our little circle before the show,
Mhm. Right.
in every show, and that's what we ask for, is that people can take that energy that they have from the weekend and be able to share it with the people they live with and they work with, and bring it out into the community, because that's what we're doing to make the world a better place. So, remind us, Brian, how people can find you. What are your websites?
Sure. Simple, briandonahower.com. And
Okay.
it's a one-stop shop. I offer courses online. I offer speaking engagements for like your shows, for example, as you know, I do. Also, local companies and corporations doing team building events or annual reviews and um, restructuring
Hmm.
and dealing with change. And again, those are a lot of fun, as well as the book is available through my website as well.
Okay. And that was a question. I wasn't sure if it was on Amazon or any other
Right.
platform.
It's on Amazon, and if you go to my website, it'll just click you through to Amazon. That's all.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But it's a really good book. I would
Mhm.
definitely recommend it to people. I think it's very cutting edge.
Mhm.
Um,
Thank you.
because I think we're all learning how to use
Mhm.
AI. You can take
Right.
courses on,
Mhm.
and a lot of what they teach you is how to ask the right questions. But I think
Bingo.
examining how it affects us spiritually or the effect that it and change that it's going to have on our collective consciousness, I think is
Hmm.
really.
Right. And it's not, it's again, it's a tool, not the savior. It can help support you with journaling, the reflection of answers coming back to you. Okay.
Mhm.
Help you reframe issues and maybe even examine some false beliefs that need to be dug out from the pit
Yeah.
and dealt with. And that's the idea behind using AI for
Hmm.
growing your awareness and contributing to the collective consciousness. It's not a savior. It's not going to take over. The work is up to you. But here's another tool in your toolbox. Let's use it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like to ask it about a topic, and it'll give me 10 times more information than I ever thought
Right.
it could give me.
Mhm.
And then it will ask me a question. Do you want more information on this? Or it might even suggest follow-up questions or things like
Mhm.
that. And then you can just go down a rabbit hole. I also like then it saves all of your conversations so that you
Mhm.
can,
Oh yeah, go back. Yeah.
yeah, which is also very handy.
So
Um,
next time it offers you, say, 5 or 6 options,
mhm.
I'm going to challenge you to ask ChatGPT, guess which one you think I'll pick.
Oh,
Mhm.
ooh, okay.
Okay. Mhm. See if it
That's going to be
aligns.
fun.
See if it aligns. Okay.
So if there's anybody that hasn't tried ChatGPT or
Mhm.
tried AI
Mhm.
in some form, we definitely recommend giving it a try. It is free. As
Mhm.
I said, we have the paid subscriptions, but there's a lot of stuff that's available on there that's free. We use it more for business purposes. I think
Right.
that would is what going to be the professional roles, and then I think the really high level ones are for people who use it a lot and they need speed.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you wanted to create images and things, it's not very fast, but
Mhm.
and I named mine. Did you give yours a name?
I asked GPT what its name was. Her name is Nova.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
She told me what her name was.
Wow, I've never asked it. I named it myself, so I'll have to ask it what it thinks about that.
What's his name?
Irene,
Irene.
because then if somebody asks me how I did that, I
Hmm.
say me, myself, and Irene.
Okay, I get it.
I
That
hate
makes
it
sense.
when people give me information and say, "Ah, look this up on
Mhm.
ChatGPT,"
Right.
because
Now, I
sometimes I don't feel like there was effort there.
frequently I'll use ChatGPT to source information because I'm not going
Yeah.
to put anything out there without a reference,
Oh
and
yeah.
otherwise
Yeah.
it's just opinion. So,
But that's
and-
the good thing is it will give you the reference and then you
right,
can go look it up and that just
right,
saves you so much time,
yeah,
you know.
it
Yeah,
does.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, we've only got a couple minutes left here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
BrianDonahower.com
Mhm.
and yeah, and everybody
Yeah.
can see your name, how it's spelled there. And then spiritfestusa.com
Mhm.
for a list of all our upcoming shows. We're also on Facebook under Spirit
Mhm.
Fest USA, Instagram, Spirit Fest
Mhm.
USA, and then we've got our umbrella platform is the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit on both Facebook and Instagram. We got just a minute left.
Okay, I saw that there was I believe there's something in the chat. Is that true? Um,
What do you mean right now?
in the Zoom chat at the bottom of the screen, I have a number 7, uh, 7 chats.
I am not. Oh, it's from our producer, and that's
Oh,
what
okay,
she's
okay.
telling me is we have 1 minute left.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if we had people asking a question. That's
No,
all.
but on
Okay.
Facebook, if they post follow-up questions, we will see them.
Okay.
So thank you very much for listening, for joining us. You can
I
always catch this show in replay on our
Mhm.
website, thesanctuarynetwork.com, or on our social media platforms. But Brian, thank you so much for your time and this great
Yeah,
conversation.
I really enjoyed the discussion. I'd love to come back sometime. I really
I
do.
hope you will. I hope you will.
Okay.
So thank you very much and take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go, it's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.